We live a very short life. That's why I am here today, using my platform as Miss Universe Thailand to be an empowerment figure, to be an inspiration to everyone to see that you have the right to be here. You have the right to your space. So let's not be a negative impact on that person's story, because you never know how that story is going to end. Actually, my advocacy is more about being a kind and considerate person and giving back to the community. And I do speak about anti-bullying a lot because I come from a place where I know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of bullying. And it's a place where you feel shame and you feel sad and you feel almost worthless on why you're even being a victim of such a bad thing that's happening. And when I was in that position, I made a promise to myself that I never wanted anybody, whether it was a woman or a man or a child or any gender in that, to ever feel the way that I felt. The feeling of worry, the feeling of not knowing if you're good enough is not something anybody should ever have to feel, because we all have a space in this earth. We all have a place to be the voice that we want to hear, to be the change that we want to see, and be the empowerment that the people need around us. And the reason why I bring this up a lot is because sometimes I feel like people tend to forget how easy and how simple it is to be kind, to think about other people's feelings before our own, and to see how our words, something as simple as our words, can impact a person's entire life, and see how they're worthy or not. For me as a woman, I feel like it's a little bit easier for me to become on the victim side, because we are seen as weak. We are seen as women who don't stand up for ourselves. And that's why I am here today, using my platform as Miss Universe Thailand to be an empowerment figure, to be an inspiration to everyone to see that you have the right to be here. You have the right to your space, to your voice, and just be kind. Because in the end, you don't know the other person's story. So let's not be a negative impact on that person's story, because you never know how that story is going to end. This is actually so funny because I never saw myself as an inspiration to other people. I always see other people as an inspiration to me. So it's very difficult for me to wrap my head around the fact that I have that kind of impact and responsibility to the people who see me as an inspiration. And the only thing I have to say is, of course, thank you for choosing me to look up to me, because every day I try to do my best to show how easy it is to follow your dreams. It doesn't matter whether you have 1, 2, or 1,000,000 dreams, but as long as you have that dedication and that grit and that power and that passion, you're unstoppable. And with the platform that I have in the future, whether it be now, tomorrow, or in 10 years, the main thing I want people to remember is that we live a very short life. And in the end, the most important thing is to be happy and to be kind and to spread that to the people around you. We don't have time to be mean, or we don't have time to try to waste it on negative energy, because that's the stuff that's going to bring us back. But if we see life from a positive outlook, from a wider perspective, from different shoes, we'll be able to work as a community to better the community for ourselves and for the generations to come as well. I think for me, the most important and the most impactful power or tool to have is the power of communication. It is so common that people misconceive messages because of their lack of understanding. And without their understanding of the language, of the implication that is said through the speech, I think the most important thing is language. So if I had any power, any superpower, it would be to be able to speak in all the languages of the world in order to communicate that message and that empowerment and that inspiration and have that connection with the people of those countries. For example, in Thai and in English, there are some words that you cannot translate because they don't hold that kind of power and that kind of impact, and vice versa as well. So I can only imagine that in a lot of other cultures, they have that as well. And I want to be able to be that impact on a more personal level so that people can really understand my story and my emotions, and I can understand theirs as well. That there is no limitations to what passion and the power that you have. The only person that is limiting you from achieving your greatness is yourself. So if you ever feel like you're in a box and that you're being kept in one place and you can't go out, remember that it's okay to break those walls, because there are people around you that will support you and cherish you and value you, but you just have to have that fear knocked down. Fear is our greatest enemy. But if we can look fear straight into the eyes and say, "You can't stop me," we're capable of so many great things.